Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the Myer Audio CKLVX-D41, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank Myer Audio for providing the CKLVX-D41 for review. To greatly appreciate it. Myer Audio, you rock. Alright, so the Myer Audio CKLVX-D41. This will set you back $168 from your bank account. It is a 5-driver hybrid. It has a 10mm dynamic driver for the bass, and 2 balanced armatures for the mids, and 2 balanced armatures for the treble. 36 ohms of impedance and 110 decibels of sensitivity. The Myer Audio CKLVX-D41. Yeah. Myer Audio, you gotta work on a couple of things. One, that model number. Give it some other name or something. That's craziness. CKLVX-D41. Or anyways. Also, Myer Audio's unboxing experience is very plain. You get that on the front. No specs on the back or anything. And the inside is very, very boring as well. You get tips. You get 2 types of silicone tips. One with red stems and one that doesn't have red stems. And I preferred the red stems. There wasn't really much of a difference between the different silicone tips. Other than comfort, I found that the red stem ones were more comfortable for me. And then you get some red foam tips. Silicone tips, you get small, medium, and large, and then you just get 1 pair of foams. You do get this nice carrying case. Smells like leather. Open it up, and you have an area for your IEMs to sit in. There's no pocket or anything for accessories. Overall, it's a nice case, and it would protect your CKLVX-D41. And then you get the D41. So Myer Audio has created a very nice looking shell here. I really do like the look of it. It does have very subtle model branding here on the bottom, and then on the back side you have a little bit of a wing, fairly aggressive angle for the nozzle, and nice length as well. They are a tad thick. If you're used to something like Thea Audio, these are built very, very similar to Thea Audio models and shapes. It is a little bit on the larger, chunkier side. They're not too heavy. And if you find Thea Audio stuff comfortable, you should find the Myer Audio CKLVX-D41 comfortable as well. But I do really like the look of that faceplate. It's really cool looking. I do believe you can get it in various colors. The D41, as I said, is a tad thick, but there's that wing to it and nozzle. Let's take that tip off so you can see what it looks like here on the back side. If you have smaller ears, it could be a problem for fit. I did not have any issues with fit of the D41. I found that it just goes into the ears and disappears. And I can wear these for hours upon hours. I had several multiple hour listening sessions with the D41 in my ears, and no discomfort whatsoever. Even when I took them out afterwards, my ears didn't bother me at all. Some larger IEM shells like this will cause pain for several hours after the fact. Never had that issue with the D41. Isolation of outside noises is also very good. I was rather impressed by how much they do isolate you from the outside world. Probably somewhere about 66% of outside noises being blocked. The only things I was really able to hear were loud things like coffee grinders, vacuum cleaners, extremely loud TVs, and a lot of people talking all at once. Cars going by on the outside were also slightly droned out, and I had no issues whatsoever with noise bleeding in. Once I had music playing, I was in my own little world. Also, I found that to carry on a conversation, you definitely have to take them out of your ears. The cable of the Myer Audio CKLVX-D41. Connects with a 2-pin, and it's a very, very nice cable. As you can see, the ear hooks are very well controlled. They have nice tension, just about the right amount of tension to be holding them in place without cutting off circulation or being, a problem here on the ears, or being too loose. So it is a very, very well done ear hook. And then the cable itself is a little bit thicker than most cables that you get in this price point, which is very nice. Feels very premium. You have a nice metal split here with a cinch that does work and stay in place. And then the braid from the split down is even thicker and nicer built. And it terminates into this metal casing, which is a little bit large with a 4.4. You can get it with 3.5 as well. So I like this cable. It's very well controlled, does not twist up, tangle, and even though it's a little bit on the thicker, heavier side, it is well built and just feels premium and just adds to the experience of the well built shells as well. The Myer Audio CKLVX-D41 is fairly easy to drive. 36 ohms, 110 decibels of sensitivity. You'll need a little bit of power to really bring out the potential of them, but most dongles will get it to power with no problem and also get it to volume. Where I found that the CKLVX-D41 really thrived was on better sources. It scales with better sources and it brings out a little bit more emphasis and just a little bit more pleasurable experience. And so if you have a little bit extra power for your dongles, DAPs, or desktops, the D41 will reward you and sound a little bit better. Overall, it's not very picky when it comes to the actual presentation of the source. It reveals it very well. But the D41 scales with a little bit better of quality. How does the Myer Audio CKLVX-D41 sound? So I found that the D41 has a bass that's very fun and engaging while yet still having quality. It has a lot of quantity but also quality. So it's a qualitative, quantitative bass presentation. Extends nicely into the sub bass. You get some rumble and grumble. There's a little there. It really is very fun sounding type of sub bass when called upon in a track. And then the mid bass has nice emphasis with good power and authority, and just overall just a emphatic type of mid bass while staying controlled. And then the upper bass has enough note weight and enough power and authority there, but does not bleed into the mids. I was rather impressed at how well controlled the bass was of the D41 and how detailed and resolving it is while giving you a natural reproduction of note weight and also a good tone and timbre. The bass was very impressive with its power and its authority, its impact and its slam and its texture, but yet at the same time it was controlled and also very natural sounding. Going into the mids, that natural sound remains and you still have that good note weight, and there's a nice emphasis on naturalism. It has a fantastic tone and timbre and very good details and resolution. The upper mids are slightly elevated though, and to some ears they may come across as being a little bit aggressive and just a little bit shouty. I didn't find them that way. I found them to be expressive and to be engaging with just enough clarity added in without being shouty. But if you're sensitive to those areas and the upper regions of the mids, it could be an issue for you. Overall though, the mids have nice note weight, nice tone and timbre, and are very natural and a lush and romantic type of sound, and just have this engagement about them, and they just bring instruments alive, and they just sound like they're the emphasis, and they have this ability to just engage and connect you with the music and bring enjoyment. And then the treble. The treble extends very nicely, and there is good extension into the upper treble. There is nice air, nice space, nice sparkle and energy, and overall it is a very engaging treble with while still being controlled. But if you are sensitive to upper treble presence, they could be a little too much for you. If you find things that are overly sparkly and energetic to be an issue for you, the D41 may have just a little bit too much. For me, I enjoy treble, and I found that it was right on spot for how I like the treble to be engaging and just enough without being over the top. It's right on the border of being sparkly and energetic and being dull and boring. It walks that line very well. And tone and timbre, just like the mids and treble, is fantastic, or excuse me, mids and bass is very good, and overall is just very accurate and true. Detail retrieval and resolution is also phenomenal. And I found that the bass, the mids, and the treble play very well. They're very cohesive, and you have this presentation that is emphasized in the mids with vocalists and instruments, but yet the bass and the treble play very well together and add in, and overall it's just a very balanced, cohesive presentation that is fun and engaging. Soundstage of the D41 is rather impressive. I was really surprised at how wide it gets and how deep it goes. I was rather surprised at all that it's going on in the stage. Things just kind of whiz around you and move around. You can hear things all around. It's a very immersive type of stage, and you can track things very well. They just move and flow smoothly. And also it does a very good job with its imaging placement. You can go, it's right there, it's right there, it's right in this neighborhood, very, very small pinpoint type of neighborhoods. And it does a good job of placing things and being immersive and engaging at the same time. Detail retrieval and resolution of the D41 is really good for its price point. I was rather impressed at all the information that you get and how well it's resolved. It's defined, it's refined, and it's focused. You can pick apart a track very well, and it's a quality that a lot of IEMs in this price point don't have, and the D41 was very impressive in how much you get when it comes to the details and the resolution. And then tone and timbre is really good. It's almost close to being perfectly natural, but those upper, mids, and lower treble regions are just a little bit elevated, and at times can throw off just a little bit some instruments that reside in higher frequencies, like strings, brass, and woodwind instruments at times can sound just a little bit metallic on some tracks. It doesn't happen all the time, but every now and then that BA timbre will show up just ever so slightly. But for the majority of the time, the tone and timbre is very accurate and very natural. The Myer Audio CKLVX-D41. Yeah, this thing impresses me. I was rather pleased at the D41 and what it can do, but how does it compare to a couple other IEMs? So you have the Ziigaat Nuo. Now, the Ziigaat Nuo is almost half the price, and the Nuo has a similar presentation, but does not have near as much clarity and is warmer in its presentation overall. The Nuo is more forward and more aggressive in the mids and in the lower treble regions, and it has a smaller stage, does not have as much depth and layering, and is not as detailed and resolving. Tone and timbre are similar on both. So if you're looking for a improvement from the Nuo, the D41 may be something to consider. And then you have the Tanchjim Kara. Now the Tanchjim Kara has less bass impact, has less sub-bass extension, has a little bit less note weight, is slightly more detailed in resolving, has very similar stage width, a little bit less depth, and very similar in its layering capabilities. The Kara is more neutral leaning, whereas the D41 is a little bit more on the fun side of things. And also the Kara is harder to drive. So, Myer Audio CKLVX-D41. The D41 of Myer Audio is their first of IEMs, especially the first one I've heard. And as far as I know, it's their first release. And I've got to say, this thing has impressed me. This thing has impressed me crazy good. And I highly recommend it. The Myer Audio D41. Wow. Good job, Myer Audio. I look forward to what you have planned for the future. I hope I get to hear more of your products. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on screen, subscription links, notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video, and check out all the links down below. There's all kinds of information down there regarding how you can contact channel, follow channel, support channel. All that kind of stuff is listed down below. Speaking of supporting the channel, there's various ways that you can do that through PayPal and Venmo for one-time gifts, or Patreon and YouTube memberships for monthly subscriptions. If you're interested in supporting the channel monthly, you can get access to videos like the CKLVX-D41 from Myer Audio. You can get those early, and you can also get access to my private Discord server, or you can chat with me, directly, however you want to do it. So monthly subscriptions get you all those benefits, and then one-time gifts also, you can support the channel. So I do greatly appreciate all of my supporters through Patreon and YouTube. Thank you very much for all that you give to the channel. Is much appreciated. Also listed down below, there's all kinds of other information regarding how you can contact channel, follow channel, support channel, gear recommendations, music recommendations, and all kinds of other things are listed down below. So don't forget to check out those links down below. And lastly, don't forget to enjoy the music, and honesty is the best policy.